Hey friends, so I'm coming to you this time from a really nice room in Vegas, taking a little trip here. So this time I'm staying at the Flamingo. So second time staying here. This time I got hooked up with a much bigger room. So really enjoying it. This is probably the best room that I've had in Vegas. Well, every time I've come here. So I've been here I don't know how many times now, so countless times. What I want to do in this video, though, is I want to talk about career life purpose because my last video was a video about how to create motivation to do purpose, any kind of purpose, how to align whatever your purpose or your goal is with the motivation or the fuel for the massive action that you're going to have to take to effectuate either that finite project or that ongoing habit. Like if you want to be a business owner, it's not just doing one thing, it's doing it, as Ross Perot said, it's not just kicking the ball through the goal once. It's kicking the ball through the goal every single day, right? So that's the difference between a project and a habit. So, but what I want this video to be about is a much more specific kind of project. We might call this career life purpose. So, Leo Gura has a life purpose course that is really in line with this. And that's what I use to find my career life purpose. But what I want to do is I want to start with the career life purpose. And then I want to use my theory. I want to integrate my theory of how to link motivation with purpose. And I want to use my own life purpose as an example. And so I think in so doing, once you guys have taken Leo's course and found your life purpose, you can maybe get some insights and example in this video for what does that mean exactly? What is required to actualize your career life purpose? What do you have to do next, right? Once you find your career life purpose, like, now what do you do? Like, first of all, you have to understand what that entails. Secondly, you have to understand the kind of projects that need to be completed. And thirdly, you have to figure out how to get you to do those projects, whether they're one-offs or whether they're ongoing routines, right? So, and Leo talks a lot about this in his course too. So I recommend all of you do his life purpose course, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, that will give you at least an understanding of what your life purpose is, right? But what I can do as somebody who, because I did Leo's course back in 2017, 2018, something like that. And then I did it again in 2019 and I got remarkably the same, actually the identical life purpose. So very similar life purpose. So, and my life purpose hasn't changed. That's the interesting thing. He opens up the possibility that your life purpose can change. My life purpose has never changed, actually. It's always been the same. It's your life purpose, your career life purpose. Think about this, reflect on this, and then I'm going to take my first break. But your career life purpose, imagine you had to have a job And you had to have a job that was abundant too. Like a job that would take care of your survival and influence other people. Like a noble job. You had to have a noble job. Okay, just imagine. And what you would do for that noble job that you would be well compensated for. You may not be a trillionaire or a billionaire, but you'd probably be a millionaire, right, doing this job. Most likely. You'd make at least $100,000 a year probably. Right? Maybe not though. Don't let money corrupt you, but also don't let money hold you back either. But it would be something that you're passionate about that would equally benefit you. And when it would be the one thing that you could teach better than almost anybody else in the world. It's the one thing that you're confident, that you're so strong in, that you sincerely believe that if you had your act together, you could be one of the best people, even if you had to develop yourself in the world teaching this one specific thing. And to be able to tie that into your job or your career or your way of making money. That's career life purpose at the highest level. Now, some people might argue that that's too materialistic. That's something that only you can look inside of yourself and understand. I mean, if you're independently wealthy, you may not give a fuck about making money at all, actually. Let's say that you were some son of some Saudi royal family and you were getting involved in career life purpose work. Well, it sounds to me like you wouldn't even need a career, right? So career life purpose work assumes that you want to work or have to work. Otherwise, you might have some other purpose. It might just be like some artistic purpose that you have, or some religious purpose that you have, or spiritual purpose that you have. Like, so for example, let's say that you're some wealthy woman whose husband passed away and you inherited all of his money. And now you want a purpose in your life, and you may even want a life purpose. But you're not focused on a career life purpose. Career means making money. See? So what I want to do is I want to say we need to make a distinction. There's purpose, there's life purpose, there's career life purpose. Those are three different things, although they're all variations of purpose. So let's say that your purpose was to be like Jesus, for example, right? Or some kind of Mother Teresa or something like that. Or Malcolm X, or Martin Luther King, or something, whatever it is. You may not even be thinking of career at all. I don't know how much these people actually thought of career. A lot of people do. I mean, people want to make money. I mean, to the extent that you want to make money, you're thinking about career, right? I mean, a band is thinking about a career, right? You're not going on the road playing music just to have a good time, right? You're trying to make some dinero, some manyan, right? Money. And why do you need the money? Because you're broke. Or you're not, you're young. I mean, when you're young, you're expected to make your own. Most people are expected to make their own money. So career life purpose, I think the first premise of career life purpose is the idea that you're not just retired. You have a job. You're working a job. There's a difference between somebody who needs to work a job, even if that's, renting out properties. You're like a landlord, or you own a bunch of properties and you do Airbnb, or maybe you have a wine company and you're selling your wine to people, or you're a stock investor, so you're making money, at night when you're sleeping. Or you only get paid when you're on the road, or you get paid for your time, or you get paid for your, you get paid by like maybe YouTube, or clients that you have that buy things from you. You did a job for somebody, they paid you for it. Maybe you work a part-time job where you're an employee for somebody and they pay you by the hour. The bottom line is maybe you're a beneficiary to a trust, or maybe you have some dividends, right? So you get some money that way. But whatever way, you got to have income, you got to have money to spend, right? Life is not free. You got to have money to spend. So, but I think ultimately, when we're talking about career life purpose, that word career is fundamental. And I'm not sure that Leo's life purpose course is only focused on that. I think it's more broad. It includes that, but I think it also includes just life purpose, right? Life purpose. What I want to do in this video is I want to make it just a touch more specific. This video is about career life purpose. What that entails. I'm going to use my life purpose as an example, and then we'll work in my theory of how to link motivation and purpose for some examples of what I could do or what you could do by analogy to actually actualize your career life purpose. Okay, friends? So I formulated the issue. Let me take a break. I'll come back and we'll move into the second part. Just give me 1 second. Hey, friends. Welcome back. So it's interesting. It's the beginning of March here in Vegas. And the weather here is actually pretty similar to San Francisco. It's not hot at all. It's like a little bit cool. It's perfect. I love coming here at this time of year. Although I love coming here, all times of the year. So Vegas has actually a very variable weather. Like it can get cold and rainy to very mild to warm to really, really hot. In a way, Vegas has 4 seasons. Pretty dramatically different seasons in its own way. Where San Francisco has 4 seasons, but they're kind of mild and kind of blending and a little bit schizophrenic. You never know what you're going to get, right? It's not totally schizophrenic like some places I hear where it's just like, you want a different weather. Wait a second, right? And you go from like thunderstorms to heat waves to, whatever, fog, to really cold wind. So, but anyway, that enough of that tangent. So career life purpose. So you gotta need to work for money or want to work for money. Because I can't imagine anybody wanting to work for money, just from my perspective. Like if I had money, I'd be retired. Right? If I had money, I'd be retired. And in a way, your ideal career life purpose is what you would do if you were retired. But that would be your job. So for example, let's say like you're some hippie girl, right? And you work some regular job, and then when you retire as a hippie old lady, like you're just making jewelry all the time, right? You're this master at making jewelry. Well, what if that was like instead of being a dental hygienist for, and I'm not making fun of dental hygienists, they make more money than I do. I'm just saying what if you could have started your life making that jewelry and made that your job somehow, because your passion is behind that, right? That's what you do when nobody's even asking you to do any work at all. That's the work that you do for free. You're passionate about that for some reason. That's the work you do for free. And that's the work that you're the best at. That's your skill. That's your superpower. They call that your zone of genius. It's the one thing that you do really well. It's the one thing that you understand better than almost like a lot of people. Whether it's chess, playing heavy metal guitar, speaking about politics, spirituality, personal development, life, right? There's guys out there, gals out there, they're just really good at speaking about life, right? These are the people that we listen to, like man, this guy, he's interesting, he knows a lot about life, right? Well, no shit, because that's what he's always thinking about. Like whatever it is that you're always obsessed about, right? That's your zone of genius. That's what you're always working on. And so my zone of genius is self-acceptance. Because of the fact that that's what I'm always thinking about. I'm always focused on the experience of my life and accepting that and trying to improve, but also balancing that with acceptance. It's something that I've struggled with. So your life purpose is not something that you're perfect at. It's something that you struggle with. And there's a community of people who are doing what you do, right? Those are your colleagues. So for example, there's a field of people who are focused on self-acceptance, who are doing it as a career. Those are my colleagues. But I'm like a baby in this field, right? Because I'm not making any money doing it yet. So it's like somebody who knows they're really great in something but hasn't like achieved like any success yet. Right? Well, maybe a little local success, but nothing big, right? I've surely had a long relationship. I've been doing this for like at least 10 years. People know me, right? The people who know me follow me, and right, they know me better than I do. Like other people know you better than you do. They see your warts and your flaws too. But they also see like the beautiful parts of you that you don't give yourself enough credit for. Like maybe you think you're good at one thing over here, and other people are like, no, I think he's better at this thing over here. Right? So they don't always, like what you think you're strong at, like other people feel sorry for you for. You know what I mean? Like you can be a little bit self-delusional, and myself included. But my biggest problem in my life has been self-acceptance. But because of that, my biggest gift is insights about self-acceptance, because that's the one thing that I'm thinking about and have thought about for 47 years. Probably longer than that, like before I was even born, right? I was thinking about self-acceptance. Because technically your life doesn't start until you are out of the womb, right? But you were alive longer than that. So anyway, being a little bit of a smart ass there. But so career, life purpose, you got to find your life purpose. Like I said, your life purpose is that the thing that you are very talented at, because it's the one thing that you're always working on, like Magnus Carlsen in chess. You and lead guitar, or you and spirituality, or you and being loved and being loving. So, see, for example, my big thing is self-acceptance. Other people's big thing is love, right? Now, self-acceptance involves love, but it's more like self-love. Whereas people can also value interpersonal love, more like a feminine. So interpersonal love is more of a feminine kind of love, whereas self-love or self-acceptance is more of a masculine kind of love. It's the individual's ability to love his or herself. And my life purpose is to deep dive issues and projects. This language is all very important. To deep dive issues and projects in order to help myself and others increase our self-acceptance by the use of the mind, or by this kind of discourse, speaking, books, courses, trainings, and presumably I would be doing these things. I would be creating these things because, see, when you look at my life purpose, it's social. This is not just me hiding out in my mother's basement, right? Like making YouTube videos. I mean, ideally, this would be a very social kind of thing. I mean, if you look at teachers who are really famous, who help other people like this, they put themselves out there publicly, like Eckhart Tolle, Mooji, Adyashanti, right? They put their whole self out there. People know their name, they know their first name, they know their last name. You know, I can't believe some people don't even know your last name, right? Well, yeah, because you're not putting your whole self out there. You got to put your whole self out there, right? You got to be a real person. You can't just hide behind this internet shit. You got to meet people, and you got to set up like a place where people can talk shop and compete with each other about self-acceptance, and there's got to be a way to perform the thing that you're trying to teach, and you got to create the community, like the brilliance of creating like a sport like baseball. It brings people together. People are vicariously participating in that. Same thing with a rock concert, a music concert, watching a movie, theater. These are all ways of bringing people together. And so, because we want to be social. So, business fundamentally is about social. It's really hard to be a lone wolf and be good at business. I mean, it's possible, but it's more the exception than the rule. So what I want to do is I want to come back and I want to give some ideas about what it would require for me to actually actualize my career life purpose. So just give me 1 second. All right, friends, so watch how I do this, and you're going to have to do the same thing for your career life purpose. So just do it the same way I'm doing it here. I'm going to give you an example of how to do this. So take your life purpose. My life purpose is to deep dive issues and projects in order to help myself and others increase levels of self-acceptance by the use of the mind. And the mind can be either consciousness or intellect. Self-acceptance, that's what I have to teach, right? That's the value. That's my value. You don't know what that is yet. Or maybe you do. Right? It's like somebody coming to you and telling you, who like knows a lot about the same kind of music you like. And they're like, give me your list, give me your rankings of like what you think the top, take this band's albums and put them in a ranking. You give them to me, and then I tell you my ranking, and then we leave it at that. But you're looking at it like, oh, I can kind of see why he would rank this album differently, or maybe I do the same thing with you, right? But we respect each other's perspective, and we feel like we can grow from having access to each other's perspective. So that's what a sharer can do, or a teacher can do to give you value. So what I would do is I would deep dive issues and projects. I would have to create some kind of product or service or presence to give value to where I could monetize, that value to be able to make a good living. A good living. So, what would that require? Products, right? I mean, nobody's going to pay you for nothing. You got to have products. You got to have things to sell, merchandise, tools, toolkits, games, courses, services. You gotta set up a community where you meet with people in person. That it's social. And you're the person who brings it all together. You might start online, but don't end online. You may have an online component, but ultimately, if this is going to be your job and you're going to be like personally teaching people how to better accept themselves, you got to really put yourself out there as a teacher in a human way. If you don't want to do that, what are you going to be? Some kind of video professor? Some like YouTube, like Professor Dave or something like that? I mean, no knock against Professor Dave. Or you might be some kind of avatar, like Martin on chess.com or something like that. Like, nobody really even knows like what you look like. You're just some kind of a meme or something like that has a wise avatar or something. I think we're like all screwed up with this online shit, honestly. And look, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater regarding the online shit, because I'm telling you right now, in this day and age, when all this shit sucks online, it's all garbage. Like the few, like actualize.org, actuality of being. I mean, these communities are like a breath of fresh air, really, compared to everything else that's on the internet. So don't feel bad about the structures that are already here or that you're a part of. But I think that if your career life purpose makes you into a teacher, I think you got to put yourself out there, man. You really got to put yourself out there. You can't just hide behind the internet, right? You can't just make money off of YouTube. That's second tier, right? The brilliant people, they're holding like in-person events. They're doing tours. I know it sounds stage orange. It sounds like ridiculous. Like, can you imagine me doing a fucking tour, having the confidence to actually say, let's meet up, everybody in San Francisco, I've reserved some hotel room at the Hyatt, let's all come and meet each other and talk about self-acceptance, and I'll give some kind of a speech, right? And maybe people will pay like, give like a small donation just for me, right? Just because I'm doing it for a career. I'm not doing it for free anymore. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if we're talking about career life purpose. Okay, friends? So this is what it is. You can have purpose, you can have life purpose, but when we're talking about career life purpose, don't kid yourself, right? This means you're making money doing it. The only way you're going to make money doing it is if you have massive personal value to create a community where people find incredible value relating with the community and with you. Okay? This is for all of us. All right, so coming from you from beautiful Las Vegas, you can see the flamingos on the wall there. I'm at the Flamingo. So my first night here, so I'm stoked to be here. And thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.